Hey guys, happy Easter. If you celebrate, I'm hoping that I have this video up today so you can see it. I'm finally back and I'm going to have my delivery story for you today. And my husband is not here. He is, we have just not been able to get it together to film a video together for you. So I thought, well, maybe down the line when I do like an updated baby check-in, he can join in and we can talk about that. So, and I've already postponed this video so long. It has been really embarrassing how long it's been. My daughter is 2 months old already, so it was like I have to do it. It's Easter Sunday. I'm already dressed up. I did have to pull my hair back in a ponytail because it is pouring down rain. So I thought, what better time to go ahead and hop on here and talk to you, especially so I don't completely forget everything. So anyways, my original due date was January 20th. I did have my daughter on January 21st. Those of you that do not follow me on Instagram, I did end up having a little girl. So, I mean, I know it sounds awful, but I really wanted a girl. My older daughter, she really wanted a sister. I wanted her to have a sister. Little girls are just so much fun. When before I went into labor, and I would be out and about, and I would look at little girl clothes, I was like, I just hope I can shop for little girl clothes again because it is so much fun. And anyways, so I really wanted to go into labor naturally, but I didn't want to go too far past my due date. And that is one of those things that some people will go up to a week past their due date, and my doctor said she would let me go that far. But once you get past your due date, there's just more risks involved, and that's just something I personally don't feel comfortable with. I know a lot of people don't like inductions, but I'd rather have an induction than have any other risks. And that is, I mean, everything with medical stuff, and especially babies, it's just, you know, what is comfortable for you. So that's how I feel. So she was due on the 20th, and we decided to be induced on the 21st. That way I'd give myself the full 40 weeks, you know. So we left our house that morning and we got to the hospital at 5:45, and the night before, this may be a long video and some of it may be a little graphic, TMI, just to warn you. Me and my daughter and my husband were all up in the bed watching TV, and I was just crying because I was just so sad that it was my last night with my daughter as her and only child. I hope I don't tear up here because she's just my world. So it was really sad, and I don't know, it's not like I felt guilty having another kid, but it was just, I don't know, I was just worried about it because it's just like, it's not that I didn't think I would love the baby as much, but it's just, how can another one compare to my mind is how I felt, because it's just, I don't know. I guess those of you that are moms that have your first one and then maybe the second one, you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. So she told me that morning when we left to tell her bye, and my parents were here staying with her. So I went in there and I told her goodbye, and it was heart-wrenching knowing I was leaving her, and it was the last time it was just going to be us. I don't know. So we got to the hospital at about 5:45, and we checked in. They got me in a hospital room, or a labor and delivery room, started an IV, just fluids and stuff. They didn't give me anything to induce the labor at that point. Set up all the monitors, and they were just like, you know, hang out for a little bit. And around, I think 8, they were like, your doctor's going to come in here by about 8:30, break your water, and, you know, see. So at about 8, they came in and they started doing the Pitocin. Well, let me go ahead and say one thing. They did before, when I first got there and checked in, she took blood, and I get so lightheaded giving blood to where, I almost passed out. So she was like, well, they like you to get an enema before. And she said, well, for some reason, she said, if you almost pass out about giving blood, then they don't recommend you getting an enema. No idea why. Never had an enema. So I didn't get one. But, so anyways, at about 8, they started me on the Pitocin, which is like a drip that comes through an IV. And 8:30ish, my doctor came in. She broke my water, and there was a little bit of the, what's it called? I know, like, if a baby stays in long enough, they can get the meconium, which is their first bowel movement. She saw there was like, the water was like a little tannish, so there was obviously a little bit of a bowel movement, you know, but she didn't seem to be concerned at all. I, of course, am a freak out person. And, you know, she looked at me, everything looked good. She's like, we'll be back in a little bit. And so that was about 8:30. And then my parents ended up coming with my daughter at around 10:30, because I wanted them to get there early so I could have time to visit. And I was kind of hesitant whether I wanted an epidural. But then I'm like, I know how I am. I need to go ahead and have one. So at about 10, probably before they came, I decided to go ahead and get it. I didn't want to be like in any kind of pain when my daughter was there and kind of, freak her out. So the anesthesiologist came in and gave me my epidural. And those of you that have never had one, don't worry about the pain of the epidural. I never researched what an epidural needle looks like because I've heard bad things about it. I don't want to know what it looks like. So I don't even know. But they kind of numb the back and, well, they give you a little shot that numbs it and then they do the epidural. Well, my epidural took, and I don't remember so much about when I had my older daughter, how it felt. But my legs, it was just like, you're not supposed to be, your bottom half is kind of paralyzed, so to speak. But I could feel my legs. They were just numb, where before I don't remember feeling anything. And that numb feeling, it's just not good. And a lot of people get like the shakes from the epidural when it's wearing off. But I was like getting the shakes before. So that was, ugh. So my daughter got there with my parents and she was just so happy. She's like, where's the baby? When's the baby coming? And I had her a little big sister gift. So she was, at the table over to the side. She had already asked the nurses to give her ice chips. So she was sitting there eating her ice chips and everybody was doing good. And then one of my nurses came in, I don't know, around 11 to check me. And I was at 4 centimeters then. And when I did get to the hospital, I was at 2 centimeters, to go ahead and preface that. And she was like, going at about this rate. I was like, well, how long do you think? And she's like, well, I can't tell you. But going by that judgment, I think we'd figured out, maybe like by 3-ish, I might be having a baby if I was to be going at the same rate, Well, after she left the room, I started just feeling bad contractions. My whole right side had it had all its feeling. My left side had all its feeling. It didn't, sorry. And I've heard people talk about, oh, my epidural wasn't kicked in my back or on my right side. And I just kind of didn't believe them because the first time, I didn't feel anything down below. So, I was miserable. So I got my husband to go get the nurse because I don't know whether they needed to change the epidural or what, give me morphine. I don't know. Something was just, I was really getting irritable. And so I was trying to get my parents to take my daughter out, go eat lunch or something, because I just felt awful. My sister-in-law had just got there as well. I was at the point to where I didn't want to talk to anybody. I felt bad. Well, the nurse came in to check on the epidural or something. She decided to go ahead and check me. From the time she had left at 11 to 11:15, I was already at 10 centimeters. It's a good thing I got her to come in because Lord knows what would happen. So she turned on the epidural higher or something. I don't know. When that's all going on, like some of the fine details you just don't catch. And she was like, okay, don't push. And I'm like, what? And she's like, don't push. This baby is coming out. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So my husband told my parents and my sister-in-law and my little girl to go ahead and go down to the waiting room. So they were like, we got to call the doctor. And luckily, where I go to the doctor, she's on the 3rd floor and the labor and delivery is on the 2nd floor. So she's able to just hop on down the stairs and come. So she's like running down the stairs and they're bringing everybody in to go into, the whole labor process. And she's like, don't push, don't push. And I'm like, I'm not pushing. I'm not doing anything. So my doctor finally gets there. And I remember when I had my first daughter, like I was pushing for a while before they ever got the doctor to come because, they're the ones that do all the delivery. And she's like, do not push, do not push. Well, my doctor comes in and I think she told me to push twice. And then she was like, well, you don't have to do anything. And the baby was born like that. Y'all, I know I kind of expressed it in some of my last videos how nervous I was because with my first daughter, the delivery was pretty traumatic to the point like I pretty much have panic attacks thinking about giving birth again. And I'm not being like exaggerating about that. Like I seriously was having panic attacks thinking about it. And it was just, gosh, if I'd had a delivery like that the first time, I would probably have had another kid way sooner. It was, I mean, she was born before 11:30. When I say I pushed for 5 minutes, I mean, that's like tops. And so it was a surprise what the gender was. Everybody in the room was pretty excited when they got her out. They're like, it's a girl. And the first thing I thought of, oh my goodness, thank goodness my daughter is going to have a sister. Because that's all she wanted. That's all she wanted. She would have been okay with a boy, but you know. Well, we didn't have a girl name picked out. We had a boy name picked out, but we just hadn't decided on a girl because so many people told me they thought I was having a boy. And I guess I just thought in my mind I was, because I carried the baby differently. Everything was just so different. We had kind of talked about a name as a middle name, and that's the name we ended up deciding to go with. We decided to name her Vera, which was going to be a middle name. That is my dad's mom's name, or it was. So my daughter, her middle name is my dad's first name, and so this daughter, her first name is my dad's mom's first name. I hope that makes sense. That was a little backwards. Anyways, and her middle name is my other grandma's middle name. So her name is Vera Faye, and it is very old-fashioned, but I just love it. I'm so happy with it. So anyways, she didn't have her name until the day after she was born. So we decided we wanted to have our little girl come in and meet her first, and then she could go into the waiting room and she could tell everybody whether she had a brother or a sister. So they brought her in and we told her that, and she was just tickled to death. She was just so happy. And so they took her out. My husband took her out to the waiting room to go tell everybody whether she had a brother or sister. And they said they could tell by seeing her that it was a little girl because she was so, you know, incredibly excited. So everybody came in, and they do, a lot of hospitals are doing like the room in where they do everything with the baby in the room. The last time I had my daughter, they didn't do all that. Now, I mean, they bathed her, they did all the grading and scores and everything. Like, she never left my sight until like that night when I sent her to the nursery so I could sleep a little. She weighed far less than my daughter. She weighed 7 pounds, 7 ounces. Yeah, 7 pounds, 7 ounces, sorry. And she was 20.5 inches long. So she was a lot smaller, and she has a full head of hair. And we thought it was black, but I think it's dark brown now that it's kind of, I don't know, maybe seeing some sun. Not that it's really seeing any sun. I mean, it is a ton of hair. She's napping right now. So I may pop back on here and let y'all meet her, or I may do that in a different video. I don't know, because I really want this video to get up. But if you don't follow me on Instagram, I will have it down below, and you can follow me and see pictures of her. I pretty much post pictures of my kids, and that's about it. You might see a few random pictures, but that's pretty much all it is. It's not a beauty Instagram by any means. And we FaceTimed my sister that lives in Italy, so she was able to find out that it was a girl and see her at the same time. It was really exciting. It was such an easy delivery, such a good process. And my daughter at that time, she was pretty hungry. She snagged my Jell-O. They had brought me lunch, and they decided to take her to Chick-fil-A to eat lunch and then home for a nap. And then they were going to come back that afternoon after nap to visit. Well, the day we checked in case you don't know, Mississippi weather has been really crazy. It was like 70 degrees. Well, that night it was tornadoes, so they couldn't come. And we were having tornado drills, so we all had to go sit out in the hallway, which was really wonderful. Not at all. But I was able to walk to like outside the room. When I had my daughter the last time, my first daughter, we stayed at the hospital 2 nights after she was born. And I couldn't even walk when we left. I had lost so much blood. It was awful. And I was able to even like walk that afternoon, which is just crazy. And so that night, you know, you don't really sleep in the hospital. It's pretty, they keep coming in and drawing blood and this and that. And you think like, why can't you all schedule it to kind of come at the same time? But they don't. Sorry if any of you work at hospitals and stuff, but anyways, I was ready to get home. So that morning they were like, do you think you want to go home today? And I was like, yes, please. So they checked us all out and we were good to go, and we went home by noon. So we were in the hospital such a short period of time. I mean, just barely over 24 hours. But we did decide on her name that morning. We filled out all her paperwork and we headed home. And my daughter, she was so happy to see her. Speaking of crazy Mississippi weather, the day we headed home, it snowed. crazy. So we came home and we have been doing pretty good ever since. We've had some hard times. The baby, she at first, I think my milk hadn't fully come in, cause, or maybe she had like a bout of colic or something, because there were a few weeks where she cried all day, every day. And that's why I haven't been filming videos, because I literally haven't been able to. I've worn makeup. I've been wearing makeup because I've had to go to doctor's appointments in the school and, you know, just here and there. And plus I like to wear makeup. But it was just literally crying nonstop. And my first daughter wasn't like that. And Vera, she doesn't want to be put down. If she's being held, she'll sleep. So, you know, I started thinking, maybe I'm not making enough milk. So my mom made me some lactation cookies, which some people could be like, oh, that really works. That doesn't. I mean, you just have to do what you think is best for you. Which the recipe, if any of you are really interested, I will give you the recipe. But the main ingredients I think that help are, it has brewer's yeast, it has flaxseed, and I think those are like the good ingredients that help. I'm not quite sure. I do have some of the mother's milk tea. It tastes awful, so I don't really enjoy drinking it. So I started eating the cookies. And I was doing really good on my weight loss until I started eating the cookies, and that has kind of slacked up. But I just think my body, like with my first daughter, if I had lost any weight, then I just wasn't making enough milk. So I think my body just has to hang on to a little bit of extra fat in order to make plenty of milk. So, I mean, that's okay. But I've been eating the cookies, and that has really, I can tell my milk supply has increased. Like, I can tell. And she is so much happier. And I think she did also have a lot of gas early on. The gas drops didn't help or anything. Rock in place, sleeping upright didn't help. She just, it was some rough days, but she's doing really good. She was 2 months old on Monday, the 21st, which was also my daughter's 5th birthday, which is crazy. And she is such a good big sister. We did have a few moments where she would kind of cry and say she missed the days when it was just me and her, and that was just like heart-wrenching. But she's past that now, because, you know, Vera would just cry all the time. And one day she told me, she said, I didn't know she was going to cry this much. And I said, neither did I. But my mom has actually still been staying with us, helping us. She's about to go home. I know she's ready to go. But it's just, it's been real crazy. And that's another thing, is I've just been so busy. It was my birthday, and then it was my daughter's birthday, and I've just had so much going on that I really have not had time to get on here much. And the longer you stay away from YouTube, I found it's harder to get back. So I'm filming a few videos today. You're going to see this one first. I'm going to film my favorites. And that's 7 by Spring. That is just, so I may do like an update to my Project Pan Roulette or something. And I'm going to try to film at least once a week. So maybe I'll film 1 video, maybe 2. But yes, I think you can expect to see me back. I'm definitely working on that. When my mother leaves, I may just have to film on Saturday or Sunday when my husband's home and can hold the baby, because she doesn't really sleep unless she's being held or unless she's cuddling somebody. And I don't know how I'm going to do that by myself, video-wise. But she's getting a lot better. Like at first, she didn't even want to be put down. She would just instantly cry. But now I have a bouncy seat in my bathroom, and I put her in there when I'm getting dressed in the morning. And she does fine with that. She has one of those little play mats, and she'll play on there. When I'm getting my daughter ready for school in the morning, it's just like filming videos takes a little bit longer, and you know, she wouldn't really be super quiet. And I know people love babies and everything, but when you're watching a video, you don't want to hear a baby crying or screaming or even cutting up the whole video, every video. So anyways, I guess that is about it. I did have a 2nd-degree tear. I healed nicely. Everything is, you know, it wasn't like I had any complications with that. I'm trying to think what else. Definitely take some stool softeners as soon as you give birth to prepare yourself for that first bowel movement. That is no joke. I definitely had issues. I was like constipated for probably 2 weeks. Well, not like not pooping, but I told you, man, TMI, but it was just pretty miserable. So eat some prunes, take some stool softeners, drink plenty of water. I am nursing. I kind of mentioned that. And I do plan on doing like a mommy and baby more video. This was a little bit more of a delivery story. But I am breastfeeding. That's going great. So that's about all I wanted to touch on. But I did get sent a few items from Pink Blush Maternity, which I had actually ordered a few items from them throughout my pregnancy. I didn't have to buy a whole lot of maternity clothes, but I did pick out a few items from them throughout my pregnancy that I wore, and I'm still going to be able to wear because they're not necessarily like, they don't scream maternity. So they actually did reach out to me just a few weeks before my daughter was born and asked me to pick out a few things from them. And one of the items I'm actually wearing today, I wore it today for Easter. It's not necessarily like the most fancy Easter dress, but it's a nursing dress. Some of their items are kind of maternity slash nursing, but I think that you can wear them even when you're not pregnant. So I'm going to get up and show you, and I'll show you how it's a nursing one. I thought, because this was the first time we took the new baby to church. It's like the first biggest outing we've had. So I wanted to be real accessible and everything easy. So I will get back and I will show you the other items I picked out. It's a maxi skirt. I did have to get it hemmed because I am pretty short. But, and so this is actually my nursing bra. I don't usually try to be so boobalicious, but, you know, you can just easily do it like that. So it makes it very accessible. I don't necessarily love this kind of style that a lot of nursing tops have. Like, I don't love it for, like, normal everyday wear. I like it for nursing. But, I mean, I could definitely see myself wearing this long past, you know, now. And you could definitely wear it for maternity, because it has plenty of room. So I also picked out another nursing dress, which is also a maternity dress. And for reference, I picked out all size smalls. I think that it's a true women's sizing on their website. It's not like juniors, because in that case, I could not wear a size small. So I would say probably like size 2 to 4. I picked out this dress. Oh, there. You can see how it is cut. The black is really hard to see. And I actually have not had a chance to wear this because it has been way too cold still. It's short, but I thought it would be perfect for the summertime when it is definitely warmer. And I love to wear dresses in the summer because they're just easy and they're, you know, cool. We have had a few warm days, but not enough. And then I decided to pick out one of their robes, which are called like a delivery slash nursing robe, and it is really a pretty material, and it's really nice to wear around the house, and it keeps you covered up, but you still have the ease of nursing. So I have to say I'm very happy with that, and I'm very grateful for them for letting me pick out a few items, and I will leave their website down below. But like I said, I've purchased things from them well before they ever offered to send me anything. I would say I probably purchased more from them than they sent me. I didn't, like I said, I didn't purchase a lot of maternity clothes. And as far as my postpartum weight loss, I'm still about 10 pounds pre-baby weight, over pre-baby weight, because like I said, those cookies have gotten the best of me. But I guess that's about all. I may just do like a separate video one day, like a little short, and you can meet my daughter and meet my husband and have my other daughter with me if y'all would be interested in that. Kind of like meet the family, I guess. But I'm so glad to be back on here talking to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm so sorry it took a while, but here it is. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.